This is Arthas. He saved all of Lordaeron by himself, and all it cost him was his sanity, his soul, and all of his friends. Now he wants to do the opposite and plunge Lordaeron into darkness, and maybe find some friends along the way. Hello guys, and welcome to the second installation of the Warcraft 3 Heroes Only series. This time we will be watching Arthas bring it to ruin the Lordaeron he just saved. The rules to the run are simple. I can only use heroes and workers. Workers cannot be used to deal damage. I can build defensive structures, but only in my base and only for defense. Play on hard difficulty unless otherwise stated. Summons/items from a hero can be used, and if a mission requires a base to be destroyed, the difficulty will be moved to normal. And the rule of cool applies. Before we begin, consider subscribing. I'm making lots of content like this, and it's greatly appreciated. With that, let's hop into the run. Starting with trudging through the ashes, Arthas has finally gone full baddie and decided to join the Undead, though he himself isn't undead. But even Arthas isn't a fan of the smell of rotting corpses, so he has decided that instead of working with the gross dead, he would enlist the help of the Burning Legion, bringing them to Azeroth, and he would do it all by himself. Also, this mission barely changes without any units, so I just run around with Arthas, collecting cultists, and then we move on to the next mission. Digging up the dead is the first real challenge of the run. Arthas starts by trying to find Kel'thuzad. Hearing that he is trapped, Arthas decides to rescue him. After tearing his way through many footmen and a tower, he finds a paladin, Gavinrad the Dire, standing in his way. Engaging in an honorable 1v1 and coming out on top, he continues to where Kel'thuzad is, to find him dead. Don't tell Arthas that he was the one who did this, he might break. Even more. After securing the remains, Arthas then decides to take his anger out on the people who did this to Kel, the Paladins. Now, for the first time, we can build a base, and there is something important I need to mention. Ghouls. They are technically a hybrid of lumber harvesters and warriors for the undead. They are the only way for the undead to get lumber, so I've decided that as a compromise for having to use them, I would limit the amount I can make to just 2, and they would be the equivalent of just lumber harvesters. After establishing a base and fighting some golems, Arthas comes across his first paladin, Ballador the Bright, who attacks the base. Then Arthas enlists the help of some ghouls to help him clear around the enemy base. While they were innocently chopping trees, a second paladin, Sage Truthbearer, attacks the ghouls. After Arthas puts down the aggressor, the ghouls can continue clearing out the trees for Arthas to reach his old master, Uther. A short fight and many death coils later, we can pick up the urn and move on to the next mission. Into the Realm Eternal is another impossible mission on hard. I really tried to make it work, but let me explain. This mission, Arthas has to destroy this blue enemy base, alone, as a level 4 Death Knight. This might be possible with another hero, or at a higher level, but not here. Not now. So, I decided, instead of just tower rushing a whole bunch, that I would lower the difficulty to normal. Because on normal difficulty, the enemy doesn't repair their buildings, making it so that Arthas can just run into the enemy base, slowly deal bits of damage, and eventually the buildings fall, finally destroying the blue enemy base and winning the mission. Key of the 3 moons is actually surprisingly easy, and the reason is simple. There are only 3 buildings Arthas has to destroy, and the enemy doesn't repair these buildings. So, all Arthas has to do is run in, deal a bit of damage to the enemy buildings, and run out. Eventually, they all go down, and we can fly Arthas to the end. Now on to Mission 5, the Fall of Silvermoon. I never explained why Arthas decided to invade Quel'Thalas. The answer, he wanted Kel'Thuzad back, but didn't want some gross undead. So he wanted to see if the Sunwell would be able to restore Kel'Thuzad to his former body. In order to do so, Arthas had to get a little tricky, beginning by expanding to the base currently occupied by Sylvanas and defending it from the intruders. Arthas gets a new base and a new toy. Sylvanas technically isn't a hero yet. However, she will be, and as a Dark Ranger class of hero, she gets a very useful ability. Her ultimate, Charm. Charm steals an opponent's unit. Any unit. Even workers. Meaning, she could take a worker from another faction, then start building their buildings and units, and their heroes. Now, technically, she doesn't have this ability on this mission, But we do get Banshees, who do get possession on this mission. So I decided to show you something cool. We can take this one Banshee and Arthas into the enemy base. Use Arthas as a distraction, then send the Banshee to steal this worker. After getting it out alive, we can task it to start building a base for us. Now the thing is, this mission is the only mission in the campaign you can do this, likely because Banshees are locked behind the side mission and not given outright, and the Elves are a unique faction instead of just normal, like the Orcs and Undead. Either way, now that we have our base, we can start building not just other enemy units, but their heroes as well. And for some reason, after making a castle, we can actually make as many heroes as we want. You could make an army of just human heroes, all that can be leveled up to level 10, and then steamroll Silvermoon. But I just limited myself to one of each hero. Then we storm the left side of Silvermoon, which is way less defended, kill some stone golems, and now we can bring back Kel'thuzad. In Mission 6, Black Rock and Roll 2, Kel'thuzad tells Arthas of a way better and bigger friend in another dimension. But in order to talk to him, we have to take out the Red Orc base as they guard a portal. This is the first time in this campaign that we get another hero, and it couldn't have been at a better time. The Lich is a powerful hero with a strong AoE Frost Nova spell, extra armor with Frost armor, and a very important ultimate ability, Death and Decay. This is a channeled ability that lets the Lich deal damage equal to 4% the max HP of any targets in range, meaning every building, even the enemy Great Halls, will fall in just a few seconds. So, we spend some time gathering important items, then starts tearing apart the enemy bases. I don't have to destroy every base on the map, but the red base is by far the most difficult, so I elect to actually deal with everything. This allows me to attack red in peace and guarantee that I don't run out of money from the constant enemy attacks. Plus, I would have to destroy at least one enemy base other than red, whether that be orange or light blue. After that, we can attack red, burning the base down to even the last pig farm, to win the mission. The Siege of Dalaran plays very similar to the previous mission. Now that Arthas and his best friend are reunited, nothing can stop them. The gimmick of this mission is that the enemy Archmages have made a spell that hurts undead, and assholes I guess, that are within its range. This means that if any of our units enter Dalaran, they will take damage over time. But by killing the Archmages, Arthas and Kel'thuzad can turn off the spell within the near vicinity. After clearing out an Archmage, a base stands between us and the next Archmage. So, we do the tried and true Death and Decay special, and remove them from our path. After doing this twice, we have one more fight against Antonidas to win the mission. In Under the Burning Sky, Arthas finally has everything he needs to bring better friends to his dimension. This mission is a timed defense mission, so for the most part, the strat is fairly simple. Use Arthas in tandem with towers to defend key locations from enemy attacks. However, there is something very important you get on this mission: Goblin landmines. And we can make good use of them. These allow us to demolish the leftmost human base. I elect to destroy this one because Arthas alone can't really deal with siege tanks very well. So removing this base that makes them often makes this mission significantly easier. After that, the rest of this mission is pretty easy. Just building up towers at the other two locations that get attacked, then defending until the time runs out. And after that, Arthas has finally found a new friend. Now that Archimonde is here, we see the world that Arthas wanted to bring about. A world with no wizards. And honestly, can you blame him? I mean, it would be a shame if some other faction had a leader smart enough to run away before the end of the world who also happened to be a powerful mage. Right?